So the starter button nightmare shit continues. So my multimeter, right now I just got a continuity test setting on. So right now it's open or infinite resistance. Little to no resistance, so it beeps. That's just to show you that my multimeter right now is working correctly. I'm going to set function, you can show it here, to auto for resistance. Alright. Going through your tests. There's the switch right here. There's both the run and the on-off. I'll probably show both of them. The behavior doesn't really matter except for the first one. So testing between black and white and black. So let me connect this to black. For some reason I was getting some... I thought that the gator clamps that I was using was part of the problem. It turns out they really weren't. But so I'm just using the actual little nodes. Alright, so we've got, I don't know if you can see, multimeter here. Still infinite resistance. Or open line. Very little resistance now with run. Can you see the switch over here? Very little resistance with run and on. If I turn this to off, I've got an open line. That seems like that's a good behavior or expected behavior. If I set this to off, nothing happens. So only thing that really matters at all is changing the kill switch. Alright. So that's the first test. Now, going to black and red. This one we were testing what happens when the ignition button, or the little starter button down here is pressed. Right now we've got an open line, or infinite resistance. I don't know if you can see the multimeter. Starter button's pressed. Absolutely freaking nothing happens. No matter what, it's just open line. What's really interesting about this, well actually let me do this other test before I say that. Last test, red and yellow, same thing. It's supposed to be reciprocated behavior. On, open line, infinite resistance. Starter button's pressed, absolutely nothing is happening. Nothing whatsoever. I just now screwed, put these two bolts in here to hold it in place, but the inside looks really nice. It's brand new. Actually, I sent it off to another forum member months ago, and I mailed it to him because I thought my multimeter was messed up. I was getting such weird readings. He replaced the spring on the starter button because it was kind of gimpy. Now it feels a hell of a lot better, and glued it in place. And I think, I'll have to check on our email, but I think he said he tested everything and it looked good. That being said, the only thing that's happening even remotely interesting at all right now is that first test between black and black-white is actually passing. Everything else just looks like crap. Nothing's happening. He's labeled, when he sent it back, each of these: ignition coil, battery positive, etc., fuse box. But that's all I got. I guess right off the bat, things are already kind of messed up.